Hi, this is Brian from Fruit Powered. I'm here with Jerry and Valorie Sljuka of Lower Gwynedd, Pennsylvania. That's not too far away from Arnold's Way. That's where I met them. And month by month by month, they get happier and happier every time I see them at Arnold's Way. And I know that they have the fruity vibes, and I thought it would be a great time for them to share their story.
Well, I guess we got interested we're interested in a health message and improving health. We have a health message with our church, and we've been leading out in a health ministry there. I started out with a cooking class, a vegan cooking class, and that's really what got the ball rolling. I mean, the vegan cooking class led us to Arnold's, and then we got exposed to raw foods, and that's just a whole nother level, I think, than the cooked vegan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much our start.
We can actually go back to our early 20s because we were vegetarians, but we didn't know what we know today, which is that you can be a vegetarian and still be very unhealthy. We ate a lot of cheese and processed foods and all that, so you feel good that you're not eating meat, but then you're eating cheese and eggs, which is not a real good product. Then off and on, you know, I personally have been eating meat and then going off of it, but I was never a vegan. And about a year ago, we went to the fruit festival. Val said, "Hey, this would be kind of neat to go to," and I'm like, "Wow, that looks too intense for a whole week, nothing but raw." Whoa! But then I've always trusted her judgment. Val's always been kind of forward thinking and ahead of me, and much more strict, where I would crave a cheeseburger and give in to that. Val would like, "No, I'm not eating meat anymore," and cheese. So we went to it, and the fruit festival totally transformed my outlook. You know, when you realize what's going on, how you can do it, how you can eat raw living food. I think I dropped like 8 pounds that week, and when I first started to now, I think I dropped like 25 pounds and felt really good.
Wow.
So the fruit festival for me was a major turning point.
I recall when you both got back from the fruit festival, you were singing its praises at the potlucks, and you just seemed to have gone to another level from that point forward, where you just had much more of a commitment to being raw as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. It was a life-changing experience, being with that many people who are following the raw food. And I mean, these people, I mean, they were so much fun, they were so happy, so joyful, so you could tell that it had an effect on their health and well-being and their happiness. So
Sure.
that was the life-changing part, I think.
Yeah, but you know, it's funny, you mentioned levels, and it seems like that's how it is. It's not a straight path. It's kind of a journey where you get to a level, then maybe, you know, you mess up, and then, you know, and in some cases, for me, 5 or 10 year mess ups, but then, you know, when you learn and you step it up to a level and a level, and you know, we were vegans maybe 5-10 years ago, and Val maintained that. I stepped back, and then we found out about more raw, you know, and then you find out about being fruit oriented, where you're eating primarily fruit as much as you can, and it's like, whoa! So you're just hitting higher levels, and you realize that this is way healthier, that you can reverse diseases, that now you have the secret to, like, how do you reverse cancer? I mean, that blows your mind when people having heart attacks and cancer, and everybody's terrified. You know, you get the phone call, or you know, a friend, and they go, "Oh, she's got cancer," or "He's got cancer." You're like, "That's it." You know, it's like some alien from outer space landed on him, and poor guy.
Yeah.
But then now you realize that you got the power. That if you do this thing, cancer will go away. And so that's the phenomenal part, and that's mainly why I think it put me over the edge. Once you realize that this is the way you can be, you know, 80, 90 years old and healthy, and I want to walk on the beach. I don't want to be pushed in a wheelchair along the beach on the sidewalk. I want to be walking on the beach when I'm 95.
That's great.
You know,
Yeah.
so
That's great.
that's why we're doing it.
When you're talking about reversing diseases, what kind of physical things have you noticed? Is anything go away on a raw food diet for you?
Well, I think I'm still working on reversing things for myself. You know, I'm pretty sure that I had a low thyroid, but I don't go to a doctor and have blood tests or find out specifically what's wrong. But I just trust that eating the fruit is going to detoxify me enough, and that, you know, eventually my thyroid is going to be working even better. It's not bad right now, I'm not on any medication or anything, but I do sense that, because I know that when I was younger, you know, I had more vitality, and I just know that, you know, just eating fruit is going to help the vitality return. I do have a lot more vitality than I did previously. I had Lyme disease for a while, and I know that I have a lot more vitality now. I'm exercising, I go to the gym and work out, and eating fruit just makes me feel a lot more energetic too. So yeah, I don't have a long list of illnesses or anything, but as we know, when you eat the standard American diet, there's a lot of toxins that you've consumed and probably have arteries that need cleaning out.
For sure.
that can be reversed with the fruit. So I'm just going, you know, doing that and knowing that, you know, gradually my health will be even better and better and better.
Yeah, yeah. There's really no quick fix. I mean, it took a long time for us to arrive in a certain state, and it's not going to happen overnight. But the journey gets better every day, and that's the great news about it.
Yeah.
You know, I did have reversals of conditions. It's been a year since we went to the fruit festival, and like I mentioned, the weight loss was a big thing. But you know, the ringing in my ears has decreased. I know my blood pressure is down, and I wasn't taking meds, but it's down. I had arthritis in my right knee, and I stopped running. I ended up, you know, using an elliptical because of that whole motion. You know, you don't want to be jarring, and I was kind of under the mistaken impression that running is what's causing the pain. The pain went away. The inflammation of arthritis went away within 2 months after we went to this diet. And it's gone. It hasn't been back. So now I'm running again. It's like, oh, cool. All right, so everything we've learned about the raw diet, and fruit in particular, is that it cleanses your body, it makes you more alkaline, less acidic, and it decreases inflammation, which is a precursor to cancer and a lot of other things. And you know, diseases with the heart disease are inflammations inside your veins and causes all kinds of problems there. Well, if it's a joint, then it's arthritis. If it's, you know, in the brain, it could be brain stroke. But for me, that was the biggest one, that went away. And my overall health is a lot better, you know, and it's fabulous.
And you attended the screening we had of Calspiracy at Arnold's Way. I'm just curious about how this knowledge of what's going on with the environment, how it's shaped your view of this diet and what it can do for people, not only people and animals, but the whole world.
Yeah, it was really surprising. Definitely recommend the movie. And you know, I'm not a crazy tree-hugging environmentalist by any means. You know, I probably lean on the other end of the spectrum. But this is where I'm at today. I don't want to eat meat, but I also consider eating eggs and dairy to be horrible, and your mind just sort of expands and you realize that's slavery. I mean, they're taking all these poor animals all their lives so that I could put a little bit of cream in my coffee, you know, or a little bit of butter on my bread, or you know, people think that they're healthy if they just eat the egg whites on an egg, but that egg was produced by a chicken, you know, a creature that God created to live with us on this planet, and we're exploiting them, and we're literally, we don't care, you know, because it's out of sight, out of mind, but you realize the waste, the harm to the environment, just that, you know, all of that feces that can run out of all these animals are just polluting the land. It's so inefficient. And then that product that you eat is harming you, and you're getting sicker and sicker. It's like every step of the way, it's just like, wow, this is really messed up. This is totally, really messed up on the planet.
Sure.
And it's horrible. And on the other hand, you know, you eat a piece of fruit, you feel great, and you're getting healthier, and no one died, and you're eating it right from the plant. You know, the Adam and Eve diet, as we call it in our church. It's like, well, just go back to Genesis. Now, whether you believe in God or not, that's a personal thing. But we do, and it fits perfectly with Genesis. Eat fruit. And all the benefits of that is removed. If you don't eat fruit, you're killing animals, you're enslaving them, then all this harm, and you know, people could call it sin, or just could be the laws of the planet, which is you're violating the laws, and it's like every step of the way is messed up. So that's where I'm at today. I'm like a loony, left-winger when it comes to this stuff now.
Nothing loony about it.
Well.
It's very sane. We talk about the work you're doing at the church. You, in some of our conversations, you had said you've been shining a light on this diet, and you're working with people, and people are getting excited about it and giving it a go.
Yeah, well, what we were doing is just letting people know through videos. We just showed the Truth About Cancer series. It's a 9-part series where it sheds light on what people are going through when they enter the cancer industry. The allopathic community only does, chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery, and just how very damaging that can be to the body, getting these things, how very toxic it is, how very acidic it is, how it's the opposite of creating health in the body. So that's a big thing for me, because I'm interested in how do you create a healing environment in the body. So that was an eye-opening series. We had a lot of people attend that. We did that, a video each week, and we did have a lady come in and just learn about that. People were learning, the one lady had colon cancer, and she decided she was going to go on a raw food diet as a result of learning, what could help heal her. So we worked with her, and she continues to come to Arnold's and continues doing raw food. We also had other people. Who else do we have?
Well, there was another guy in his 60s that, basically he was in the Army and his body was falling apart. And we had, in the interactions that we have with people, we mentioned how you can reverse diseases. And I also throw out things like, hey, you can try a 40-day fast. Jesus did that. Or you can do a 10-day fast. People do 7-day fast. So for some reason, he thought, yeah, 40 days. Yeah, I could do that, because he had numbness in all his nerves. He had no circulation in his lower leg. They were pumped up and ballooning up. He had like 3 or 4 other things, pain, the top of his head, and other things. I forget exactly, but he was on a bunch of different medications. So he's like, okay, I'm going to try this, because he was feeling like his life was, going downhill. When I had arthritis, I'm like, okay, I'm going to old man mode now. I can't run anymore. Well, he was like definitely going on death's doorstep mode.
Wow.
And he did this, and he said that 3 of the 5 are gone, and he's cutting way back on other meds. And he's like, he did it. Now he's like the second guy that had a major transformation. A lot of other people at our church, maybe another dozen or so, are moving, stages. Nobody made quite the leap that he did. He's like, okay, nothing but fruit and raw stuff for 40 days. And he had remarkable healing. The lady with the cancer, remarkable healing. But a whole lot of other people are feeling better and doing better. Another guy is having chest pains, and he's doing this thing for 2 weeks now, and he feels a lot better.
Yeah.
So what's remarkable to me about this, and why it's so exciting, is that you go to Arnold's and you meet all these people that did the same thing. You're like, okay, wow, you're getting healed. Or we met that lady that was 300 pounds that had MS. She went on a raw fruit diet and went to 150 pounds, and the MS is gone. And the doctor had nothing to do with it. It was the same thing we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that you can cure almost anything, almost all the time, with this diet. And some people are too far gone, obviously, but the cause is always the same. It's the American diet, too much meat and eggs and processed foods, all those poisons.
Creates acidity in the body.
Right. Yeah. It collects, and then these symptoms go out, and what's amazing to me is you realize that the symptom is just a name, but the result is always the same. If it goes to your, to your big toe and it hurts, now it's called gout. If it goes, if it starts coming out onto your skin, it's called eczema, psoriasis. Yeah. If it goes into your brain, it's a stroke. If it clogs your heart, it's heart disease. So doctors have all these names.
Thousands of them.
Yeah, and yet the cause is always the same. It's just the symptoms location is different. So this is remarkably easy. You just go back to the Adam and Eve diet, start eating raw fruits and vegetables and a little bit of seeds, a little avocado here and there, and that low-fat combination will cure almost anything. It's just remarkable. So it's really exciting to have this information. We're very fortunate. We were saying the other day, it's like, wow, aren't we lucky that we came across this, and we want to share it, because Doesn't cost much, and it's easy once you get the mindset.
So, last question. I was just curious if you have one tip to give people out there who are struggling with trying to get to the next level, next level of this diet. They might be eating too much cooked food, and they're just not getting the great results, the consistent energy. What would you say to someone like that?
Well, I think that you really need to deal with the emotional aspects of detoxification. We don't realize how our attachments are, setting us up for failure. And you need to identify what those attachments are. And then I know that I got motivation from different raw foodists on YouTube. I'll watch them. And they really help you with the mindset, because you need to have the mindset to move into to the next level. And if you feel what you're doing now is, oh, I ate fruit and a salad, but now I'm going to treat myself to that vegan cupcake, you have to realize that that's not a treat. That's sabotage. You're actually self-sabotaging yourself. And really, you need to get to the point where you don't, you have to deal with your cravings and your emotional detoxification. And these are like all things that happen when you're on a raw food diet. And just talking to other people about it, I think, is the best tip. Just, come to Arnold's. Everyone loves talking about this. It's like we can't stop talking about it. So I think that'd be, or contact other raw foodists, and they'll help you get to the next level, because we've all been through it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point too, that people don't understand that when you're detoxing, you're going to have certain symptoms. You might get headaches, you might get flu-like symptoms, and then people go, this diet's not for me. But it's like, that's actually part of the healing. All the stuff that you put in is coming out, and you need to go through the process of getting rid of it. And sometimes it's painful.
Yeah.
But you don't say, all right, this food is making me sick. No, the food you've been eating has made you sick. Now you're actually getting rid of it, for the first time ever in your life. And a lot of people don't understand when you also give up certain things, that your body, the bacteria that's there to digest the bad stuff, is screaming out, going, hey, we're dying, give us more of that bad stuff.
Right.
But instead you should be eating the good stuff, and then you get the good bacteria living inside your gut, and then that is going to be going, hey, more peaches, more watermelon, cherries are awesome, let's have them. So we're farmers, we have a colony of bacteria in us, on us, and it's all part of the system. So sometimes it's painful changing that system, but it's worth it, because you can be 80, 90 and walking around and not in a wheelchair, and not tooling around Walmart in one of those little scooters. It's really sad when you see people like that with swollen legs because of the lymph system. So the other thing, Val mentioned websites. I want to throw out a couple that we really enjoy. Dr. Morse is really insightful. Tanny Raw, Val loves her because she's got a lot of insight. And she was another lady that was over 200 pounds, got divorced, she looked terrible, was sick, found out somehow about the fruit diet, and you look at her now, she's like this buzzing activity of, a slim, healthy, her eye color went from like a darker color to blue, and she's very knowledgeable, very inspirational to see that someone's life can turn around, and you know that she's going to maintain that until she dies in her 90s or 100 even.
There's Mark James Gordon, he talks about kidney filtration. That's like the golden key to your health.
Dr. Morse talks a lot about that.
Yeah, kidney filtration.
Yeah, and it's taken almost a year since the fruit festival. How everybody thinks their kidneys are filtering when they see a little yellow in their urine, but it's not. It's got nothing to do with the color. It's got to do with the particulate. It should look like somebody put in powder or dandruff, and it should be cloudy. And since the fruit festival, it's taken a year almost recently for me that I'm actually starting to filter and get rid of the lymph system problems that I have. So it's like, wow, it's taken a whole year to get to this thing, and it's just starting. But they say it takes a year for every 10 years of life that you've had leading the wrong diet. So figure at least another 5, 6, 7 years for me to detox.
It's a good journey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Stay tuned for more.